For years, the world has listened to thousands of podcasts. But if you dare to immerse yourself into a new experience, new ideas, viewpoints, award-worthy commentary, and a way of looking at things you didn't think were possible, strap in. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. Gaming, current events, local and global, finance, sports, religion, health, and everything else. It's all here. It's all here in the Data Podcast.
Four, three, two, one. All right, we're back. Data Podcast here with co-host Dano and Joanne. We are recording just 2 days before Father's Day. So one of the things we want to say is Happy Father's Day to all the fathers that check out our channel. Dano himself is a father, so Dano in advance, Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
And Happy Father's Day to our own to our own dads. Yeah. I'm gonna start not to be like a pessimist, but I have some notes here, and I'm just gonna talk about the bad stuff. Okay. And let's see if we can try to make light of it. So, recently on the news, 2,000 to 10,000 cows that died of a heat stroke. That was number one.
It's hot out there.
Yeah, and it is, man. The other day I walked out. No, but
yeah.
It was like I told y'all, it was like a dryer. That's how hot it was.
The dryer.
You can't
it chokes
breathe.
you up.
You can't breathe out there.
Mhm.
Global warming.
I don't know
we
if
don't have
you
to
all,
get into that.
I don't know if you all heard about the rolling blackouts that some states are
Oh
experiencing.
yeah, a lot of.
Because of the wires, right? They're overheating or something like that.
Too much
The power
usage,
grids.
Too much power usage.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that this could be because of the Green New Deal? Because of the let's transition to wind energy, solar energy. Do you think this could be a reason why maybe the supply, or no, not the supply, is it the supply? It's not being met to the demand that
we need.
that you would need. I don't know what the difference is regarding
Like how much conversion is between like oil power and wind solar
and
power.
which one is like more not energy efficient but it puts out the most power, you know. I wouldn't know anything about that. If anybody knows and you want to leave a comment, let us know.
Yeah.
So that's going on, right? At the same time that this is going on, today I drove back from Donna, and what I'm seeing for the past 4 days now, I went to Donna yesterday, and then 4 days ago I went, and what I'm seeing is people being stranded on the road. And it's not that the car has overheated or anything like that. Usually you can tell, the hood is like steaming. Aquí, what I think is going on is people stretching out the gas tank. Like, I'm almost there.
Yeah.
And this is something that I've thought about. Like, I was still working. I'm not currently unemployed. But one of the things I said that as it was increasing, there's gonna be a point where you're just working for gas, like just to go to your work. That's what you're working for. What's going on, man? What? The solution is simple. Open up the Keystone Pipeline, right? We have oil here for like something like 30 years or so. They claim in certain states, just for that one state, and they can separate energy to like the national grid. This is the solution, But this administration has some crazy dumb ideas and everybody has to suffer for
This
this.
is also like oil reserves, right? That they can open up
See?
or whatever
Yeah.
they use. That's what
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Trump did, I think, once.
Yeah, aquí in Texas, Carrizo Springs was hot, and there was a bunch of areas that you would just hear that, like, I know for me, I would hear like ex-classmates, oh, I'm in Carrizo Springs, right?
Yeah.
Or you would look at their Facebook when I used to have Facebook, you could see their like location, Carrizo Springs. Everybody, ¿verdad?
And then Biden is calling like the oil companies to take in less profits so that the prices can go down. Who's
Yeah.
gonna do that?
Nah.
They're not gonna listen to him. That's
Nah.
that's his approach
Yeah.
to cutting the
What a
gas prices.
what a big loss and spit like to us the American people. Okay, we can't we gotta do this to the working class. You know, we gotta like you already have shit you have to worry about. You know, and now it's piling this on top.
Yeah.
It's
But
like little by little you're losing your luxury.
It also has to do with the inflation and the supply shortages and the war that's going on,
Yeah.
and then all that piled up together. You know.
Yeah.
Plus, I
And
mean,
the administration doesn't help.
Kind of
also.
like a butterfly effect.
one of the things that you can see right off the bat is the global food shortage, which is the next part of my because it ties in. You're a trucker, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you get paid. Like, you know what, we'll pay your diesel for you. And I doubt that that's how it is, because there's like family owned, what is it called, logistics companies.
If it's the owner operator, then he is seeing his pocket or like the take home
Yeah.
profits being
come down.
come down because of the gas prices.
And even come
Um,
into the negative.
Most of some of the drivers aren't owner operators, so they're not in charge of like the expenses as far as to like their fuel. But if they are owner operators, and they are seeing the reduction. But if the driver is not the owner operator, then whoever is leasing them the equipment or the trucks or whatever,
Mhm.
then they are seeing a reduction in their
Yeah.
pockets as well.
So,
Yeah.
no,
And it's all over all the companies. But I mean,
Yeah.
think about just UPS. All
Yeah.
the people who deliver.
I ordered
Amazon.
I'm ordering stuff from Amazon, man. Like stuff I need to get ready to go back to school. DoorDash brought me like a file cabinet. The people from DoorDash, what the hell's going on, man? You're like, como no hay el como había antes, you know,
Yeah.
that luxury que, you know what, let's go in and take a car ride. That's not gonna be a thing. And I told my mom, and pues my parents, like, now it's like you go on a, like, let's say like for here where I live, like, oh, I gotta go to Walmart, take care of everything you gotta take care of, like,
Yeah.
in that one trip, you know, todo lo que se tiene que hacer y like, ¿cómo se dice? Logra
Yeah.
el viaje, yeah.
Mm.
So, even in the stores, como digo, I went to Walmart, I was seeing the shelves. Baby formula is one thing that's coming out.
That's scary, bro.
Yeah, that is. And even the shelves, man, like you're just looking like como Fritos, like there's like only limited like crappy brands nobody's
Yeah.
ever heard of. They have like a little bit of the they have a little bit of like the ones that we know, like
Yeah.
Doritos and those
Yeah.
guys, you know. And it's there, like, and you would think like we should start panicking, you know, start doing something like demand answers, like what's going on, you know. We're working class and you putting this crap on top of us because if you're pendejadas, you know,
Mhm.
they're like letting people in through the border. Just a bunch of dumb ideas, man. Since this administration entered office, it's implemented the Green New Deal. You're a little stupid country on a corner of a map. I don't know if y'all know this, but it's not to scale. The way we look, the way it's
The
portrayed compared to Africa. There's a country, I'm not even lying. There's a country that can, like, that country in Africa eats the U.S. You, a little guy, you're gonna go and tell the world what to do. Like, you're gonna tell them no, we stop using cars and what are you doing? How can this happen? Who would be the ones to do this? This is why I wrote the what's not here, but the economic forum, which had to do with money. What these guys wanted to do. I remember reading an article. Decía, ¿cómo decía? In the next pandemic, these guys are gonna. Like they're already
They
saying,
have a
like,
plan.
They're already saying like in the next pandemic, not like if it ever happens. No, in the next one.
When
it's-
it happens.
Yeah, it's coming. You know, in the next pandemic, we're gonna take over the economy for like 270 countries or something. They had a 290. I don't know what the number was.
They already know how.
They have like
They saw the opportunity on this one and they
See,
said,
like-
we're taking advantage next time.
like bringing the new world order, ushering this crap in. Y nomás pon cuidado, man. Like, aparte de todo esto happening, this is, I mean, I'm about to step on boundaries. Pride Month and stuff is like here.
Let me just say something about the previous topic. We are doing all these steps, taking all these steps for turning green or whatever as our country, and you're saying like we can't impact the whole world, and I get that. I think it's more about doing the right thing regardless of what other countries would do, but regardless, there's some countries that are already way ahead of us, bro, that are already 100% green, and they're like relying a lot more on technology and stuff like that than us, bro.
They're part to save the planet.
Yeah, so I mean, it wouldn't be, I guess, I do understand what you're saying, like there's some countries that are just like way behind and that would never catch up or whatever, but I think individual countries themselves around the world are themselves concerned about the situation, and then they themselves are doing something about it even more than us, more so than us, You were going to go into the... Espérame, bro. I know...
I think it was Pride Month.
Yeah, Pride Month.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So, you're looking at, like, the way the world is going, man. Like, these 10,000 or 2 to 10,000 cows, you know, the gas, all of this piling on, you know, shortages, baby formula coming down, you know, it's like don't have kids anymore, right? They took away the abortion from us now in order to not, so that you don't have kids. This is like a way to like emphasize, you know what, it's not going to be on the shelves anymore. You took our right away to like kill babies and stuff. We're going to kill them this way by taking away their formulas. Yeah, by taking away their formulas. Panic, you know. And then it's Pride Month over here, right? And not to shit on like a group of people. Everybody has their right to be whoever they want. The more power to you, right? Pero a man can get pregnant, bro. You know, these people are pushing a man can get pregnant. These are the people who tell you believe in the science, you know, like global warming is real. Believe in the science, you know, trust the science. Global warming is real. These same people are telling you that men can get pregnant. In my study, my education, I have a bachelor's degree in science, biology, a minor in chemistry. This is redundant to this idea. And to take así like that message out there, you become like threat number one. It's like como you're a hater of people. There's a video, man, a sick video. These people, I mean, como dije yo, you know, you be yourself. Pero like sexual matters, they ought to stay private. We don't need to be publicizing that out there. It's like between like you and your partner. It's a private thing. Why are you on the streets with dildos and stuff and saying it's family friendly? Let me see if I can find the song, man. It's hang on, I'm not even lying. And not to again, you have the power to be whoever you want as a person, by all means. Pero to shove it down your throat like, eat this is normal, this is what. People have their opinions. Like not everybody likes waffles, you know.
It's all over the place, bro. It's in every movie now, every TV show.
Let me find this song.
It's like you said. It's like it's not that high of a percentage of people to think the same way. To be shoving it down people's throats.
We're coming for your children. I think this was and look at all the people celebrating this dumb crap. You know, what is this? You never see like straight people. You know, walking down the streets, hey, I love pussy and girls también. I love. This is a private matter, man.
Oh, because it wasn't this Pride Month or something like that.
Yeah,
because I've heard it in every single commercial on YouTube every time. Every time I go in there to look at something, a song or something, it's right in the beginning. It's like a Pride Month commercial.
It's gonna play on my. I'll try to lower the mic.
Just this once, your
I'm gonna stop it there, man. I'm sickened out already. What the hell is this crap, man? Kids, bro. They're like supposed to be like happy, like it's like an innocent time, go to the park, walk a dog, ride a bike, Little kids, we don't gotta teach them that. We don't gotta teach them sex, man.
Is this song trying to like making fun of something, or is this an actual song from them? From
Look at the title. They say in San Francisco, a message from the gay community performed by the San Francisco.
Like an actual song from them that they actually believe.
Yeah.
That's not something like making fun of them.
No, this is actually them.
Right.
like promoting their stuff.
Mhm.
Like, and it's like I said, man. I'll show you some sick images, man. Not that I was searching for this myself, but I've watched people on YouTube and stuff like talk about this. Gay. I'm just gonna put gay parade, man, and whatever happens, happens. Imagine like witnessing this. In public, bro. We've talked about it before. Se ve mal when a boy or a male and a female are like the other day we went to go wash a car. Yeah, ahí estaban besándose in front of everybody. What the fuck are you doing, man? It's like the guy himself doesn't know, like he's disrespecting the girl by doing this like in like public. That when show public affection, fucking just hold hands. Why do you gotta like make out and like you like the point case is like, why don't you just get a room, Imagine seeing now then this. No. And little kids, man. Little kids are malleable. Like, they'll easily, like, this is, like, normal. Like, this is the way of life. It ain't. This is, like, some bullshit Hollywood, devil, some satanic shit that's coming into to porque the Bible says que esto está mal, bro, I don't know. I don't wanna. I'm just. I think the best thing is to like not acknowledge these people and give them any power, Pero, I mean, why do you gotta go after little kids, man?
Yeah.
There was a guy I respect. He's like I have him on Snapchat, and he probably checks like this these things out when I put it on my Snap. Like, check out this next podcast. It said there's school shootings happening everywhere, and the Republicans are worried about. It was like a meme, like a school shooting here, a shooting in some hospital, shooting there. The priority, and then like the Republicans are like, we gotta do something about gay trying to convert children. No que like you would want the world to end any quicker, right? You're like, this is like maybe the last hope of like trying to slow that down, trying to take a stand, What do you do, man? If Jesus was to come like right now, today, and we believe that he loves everybody and y todo, what do you think he would have to say about this? What would he have to say, man? Like, the mind can only wonder. Would this be normal? Is this allowed? Is marriage like just something we just throw out and it doesn't matter, just a bunch of words we say in front of God y todo? Between a man and a woman, the man leaves his house to be joined to his wife, and he leaves the house without. There's verses like that. What would he have to say about this? Has anybody thought about that, man?
I mean, it's more complicated than we think, right? Just like black or white or right or wrong. I think that we'll be surprised. A lot of us, even because it's wrong, obviously, right? That's what we think. That's what we believe here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many other things that are wrong also. That we'll be surprised. We'll be surprised and we'll be like, wow. We're
like this something more awful could be normalized somewhere else that we're not privy to. In other words,
how can I say it? Like, I'm not gonna go ahead and say and condemn all these people that are gay, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes people get confused.
Mm-hmm.
But within these people, there are also people that are not doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, like there's no reason to shove it down people's throats, or
like
to
and
be
that's-
promoting things that are
Yeah.
wrong for the age, like not appropriate for that age, or like with what intentions are you
Mhm.
doing it, right? Like some of these people are pedophiles. I mean, why are they talking about children here? First of all, why are we thinking about the children's
Yeah, it's like I said,
sexuality? Right?
they're kids.
So that's wrong. And so like overall, I would say, like in my opinion, right, I'm gonna just go out and straight and say, because I said it before, right? I believe that it's wrong, but there might be one or two people out there that are good at heart, right? That are just genuinely making a mistake. Like we all make mistakes.
yeah,
right?
yeah, we're not
Mhm.
perfect. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, for me, right, personally, if there's something wrong with me, I like to admit it. Like, first of all, I have to recognize that I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
It's not just about, like, maybe I don't even know that I'm doing it wrong. But
Yeah.
if I realize that I'm doing something wrong, then as a Christian, like the very first step is like acknowledging and admitting, you know what, I'm doing something wrong to yourself and to God. You can't lie to
Mhm.
God.
Yeah.
You can lie to other people, and you can even lie to yourself.
Mhm.
But you can't lie to God. So
Yeah.
God already knows. So first acknowledging that to yourself, and then admitting it before God.
Yeah.
And not necessarily even change what you are, because maybe you can't,
Mhm.
right? It's too strong. It has too strong of a hold on you. Maybe you were addicted to a certain drug or whatever, man.
Yeah.
It's just it's sin, right?
Yeah.
But admitting to it, and then just genuinely with a good heart try to search out being a good person,
That's
or,
what I was-
whatever.
Yeah, so
Well,
I was,
make
I, was,
amends.
I was gonna jump into that
Yeah.
because, like, you know, like when you're a kid and like you mess up pretty bad on something, and you're like, that's like, I gotta go in and tell like mom and dad, you know, I gotta go do something, right?
Yeah.
I gotta come forward. Time is running out, man. You know, ahorita, like whatever amount of time we have to be here on Earth is running
Mhm.
out. We're running out of
Yeah.
time. We're running out of time too. The sense of urgency, to acknowledge something is wrong with me, right? I've read your words. You clearly say this isn't right. Fix me, please. Do something. Help me break down. You know, I don't want to be like this. Why do I have these thoughts? Can you take them out of my mind, please? Yeah, like a little kid, like please, dad, or please, mom.
Yeah.
Can you help me? That's what I think. Like not like that these people have to do this.
Yeah, no, because
Pero,
not necessarily because you like something so much doesn't mean that it's right, bro. I mean, we all
Yeah.
know that, right? I mean, and I always like to go to the drugs, right? Because that's an obvious thing. Like, obviously, people get addicted to drugs because it feels good. It's so good, right?
Yeah.
Not just
Yeah.
because you like it so much does it mean that you're doing something good to yourself or to others, right?
Mhm.
So the main thing here is, if I know I'm doing something that's wrong and I actually admitted it to myself, and maybe I can't change it about myself, but I'm not gonna. If people who are watching me, I don't want them to be like me, you know. I actually want them to teach them to, hey, don't be like me,
Yeah.
because I'm failing at this.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the first thing of realizing that you're doing something wrong. Now, maybe I'm going too far, and maybe these people, not these people, but like people like this, would say like you can't relate to us at all, but I would say that you don't know how much I could relate, you know,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
we all have different things, right?
Yeah.
And then that's how I feel about it. Like that's how what I've always said in this show before, right?
Yeah. It's the reason why I brought that up. Like
Mhm.
it's like just a bunch of bad news, man. Like everything is coming down. You look at like what's happened biblically. Yeah. What this y que sea de adrede, bro. The taking baby formula off the shelf, you know.
That
Que,
would be.
que sea de adrede, you know,
Yeah.
because they believe the abortion, you know, we gotta retaliate. You're pushing something que like it's we need to end this thing.
About the baby formula, bro, I just want to say one thing. And I talked about it with one of my friends a while back, and I was like, you know, yes, I would be panicked, but also you can always breastfeed. And that is the best way to go. Doctors
Yeah.
always encourage, and
It's-
and God provided everything for your child. So
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
need to buy baby formula or all this or
Yeah,
whatever.
but-
Sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
There's
and
medicine
that's
también, no?
understandable. But if we went this route to where like all the people who could breastfeed would just do it, then there wouldn't be a shortage.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying?
Instead of depending on fucking government bullshit.
Mhm.
That's what these people get, man, for their pendejadas. Let's vote for a party that That's what you get for not standing forward.
Especially because like even for like some of the kids who or some of the mothers who can still breastfeed, and their kids like allergic to like their milk or lactose and stuff, and they need like that special formula, or because they can't take anything else to like take that away from the child, you know, for whatever reason, because because you specifically made that formula because kids had those allergies.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it should be like your responsibility to at least have enough for that, and the shortage could be for whatever reasons. We're not sure, but I feel like I don't know. We just something has to be done better, bro. Because like the most basic things we need is food, water, shelter.
Yeah.
Like those are the 3 basic needs that any human being needs, and to
and the government does play a big part of it, bro. Because like incentivizing, we have like extra. I don't know if you noticed in the stores, there's extra food of a certain kind that's not even good for you. Like you were talking about corn chips. Like there's an excess of corn chips, all kind of corn chips you can think of. That's not even beneficial to us. There's an excess of it because the government incentivizes farmers to grow that ever since back then in the Great Depression.
Yeah.
And that still is standing today. So out of that, a lot of companies became like the monsters, the behemoths. So they're just still benefiting from that, from the government, and this is what we are. That's what they're producing, and that's why they're so cheap. Like compared to like a better alternative, this is like the cheaper alternative because there's an excess of it. Yeah. So the government's not doing a good job to like incentivize smaller companies to
go outside the realm,
to rise and make their own products and make it available and make like more competition and make it cheaper.
Yeah.
And more available. Yeah.
What was I gonna say, man? I had like a. Shit.
Otra vez el train thoughts,
wait. I had it there. I had it in my mind. Shit. Wait. We're talking about the corn, but okay. So get this, right? You have the way that God made the world out. You have the bean tomato. It's red. It's natural. All these things are natural and wonderful. Well, what they did. There's technology called it's called CRISPR. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Oh yeah.
CRIS, CRISPR. And they're
biotech.
Alternating genes.
Okay.
Jurassic Park, man. This ties in, I swear. So, wait, shit. Okay, so you have corn that grows, let's say, in Texas, right?
Yeah.
This corn is native to Texas. Well, this corn, right? It maybe Texas doesn't rain so much. This corn has a gene where I survive in like crazy ass environments. Okay, crazy ass environment. Put this guy in the desert. Boom, right? Okay, this guy's in the desert now. And now we gotta get a gene from like Brazil or something because this corn is sweeter, right? Let's get that sweet gene, put it in this one, and now what you've done is you've modified God's creation and you made a mockery of all this stuff. And so the way I'm seeing everything going on in the world, it's just like I said, like we're getting ready to usher in this antichrist, anti-world, the way the natural is supposed to be. Even people modify themselves, man. Yes. They go and modify their bodies, and you fucking retard. Like, God made you the way He made you because that's how you're supposed to look. Yes. Be like happy with yourself. I'm sorry if I step on anyone's toes with that, man. But you were a gift, and now you've tainted you should feel like, prostituted or something. Like when you gave yourself to fucking bullshit of society, but how they're telling you're supposed to be. Wake up, man. Like the way you're made, like you're His gift. I'm like going my thoughts, bro. They're like they're fucking like way ahead. I'm like trying to get all this in, and I can't. I think you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So in the future, where we're going to is genetic editing. That's what the whole movie was about, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what you think about the biotech company in this movie. Yeah. It's called BioSyn. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah, you gotta look at it and be like, come on, they're trying to warn us somehow. God is like, okay, devil, I'll allow you to do this, right? Like, go ahead and destroy the world, but maybe I can save some of my people who can read between things, and maybe they can save some people, you know. Yeah.
But the word right, it caught my attention. It goes like bio and then sin.
Yeah.
It's like because
Sin, bro. Sin is in there.
The main thing about this is like there's not a question about if we can do it or what are the potential we can do. We already know the potential that genetic editing has, right? Healing and everything. All that stuff is good. But the main problem is politically, like where does this stand as ethically? So that's the reason it hasn't been introduced. But it has already been introduced to a certain extent, like throughout different countries. That I know they're doing different things with animals and stuff. But even I think here, because you mentioned about the corn, and I remember because I worked in the fields when I was younger, right? And they do have like different seeds of. This was cotton where I worked was cotton, and there was this certain type of seed that cotton was already pre-made or manufactured or whatever, and it was like better quality, like more expensive. That it would produce a lot more cotton, and it would be that there wouldn't be that much weeds growing in that place because you could spray it, and that cotton was immune to the spray that they were using, so it wouldn't die off, but the rest of the weeds would die off. And I remember this. I don't know the exact science behind it. I never researched it or studied it or whatever. But to me, this comes back, and I think they are using some kind of editing or something that it is impacting it for us to have like better plants. And we do have like altered foods in the store, like chickens and meat and our fruits. Everything's altered.
You see like GMO labels, like genetically, like they're warning you. What were you gonna say?
And then and because some of these people like started like doing all these things with the plants way before like science was advanced, like back like I forgot the name, the father of botanists or something like that. He did it with sweet peas, different kinds of sweet peas. He put the plants. Gregor Mendel.
Yeah.
He put I think they were sweet peas or this type of peas.
The wrinkled and the smooth ones.
And then he would just let them interpollinate between each other just to see. And I guess that's like the beauty of us being sentient, knowing what to do because we're curious. Like even though we're not trying to like play God and make something, we're curious to see what would this do if we do it with this. And I guess that's just
no. And there are plants that became modified, like they'll have like different patterns on the leaves. That is correct. Pero when you, I don't know if you all know this. I don't know how true it is, but what they're saying is that they're finding like fetuses with like pig ears and like a snout or like a beak and feathers and stuff.
Because I've heard that the pigs were like the most compatible with human genes. That you
like,
could actually
interbreed DNA wise, they're like 98 or like very high. And then even though we're descended from like monkeys or chimpanzees, we're more compatible in DNA with pigs, and the next runner up would be like the apes and monkeys and stuff.
Like my mind just opened up, like it was like, you know, and I'm like you're saying about the pigs, right? And how like we're compatible with DNA. Jesus would like only use pigs, bro, to fucking put another demon in something else. Like shit, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
We're not supposed to eat that, right? There's like verses about not eating that thing. Isn't there? Like
there is something in the Old Testament about certain types of animals, but I don't know about pork, bro. Because it's a pretty common thing that people eat.
Let me see.
I'm not sure. It has to do with the way that,
especially like in our culture.
Say about eating pork. I might not be correct. Swine is part of the. I don't know the particular Bible verse, man.
I mean, what are you trying to search for? The one where the demons went to the swine, or are you about the different foods that we can or cannot eat?
The can and cannot
I think that should be like in Leviticus or something.
Este es, no? Leviticus?
God forbids us to eat swine because it parts the hoof but does not chew the cut. Maybe there. It says it right there so clearly.
What does that mean? It parts the hoof and does not chew up?
It has something to do like where the certain animals, like if they have the two things or the three, I guess like certain animals eat clean things that are healthy for humans, and then certain animals eat like stuff that's not clean. I know that some animals eat like carcasses and stuff, and that's
Uh-huh.
not clean for like we'll get sick if we eat
Yeah.
that. So that's I believe that that's why God made the differentiation and was like these are bad for you and these are good for you. That because of the diseases and stuff like that, not necessarily because it's evil or whatever.
And was that also like a reference to like?
Aquí está, bro.
I know.
It's
I know that it's very dangerous to eat pork if it's not well cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what were you gonna say?
And then, because their pigs' hooves are like separate, right?
Yeah.
They kind of like have fingers. Was that like kind of like a reference towards like the devil or like demons? Because you know they're supposed to have like goat feet or hooves feet, stuff like that.
it
I
could
don't
be
know if it
the
has anything to
depiction-
do with that.
The depiction could be there, like the sub what is it called? That sub fuck man, the you know the
Yeah, I'm saying it because like
The
maybe
reference.
The
But,
reference.
Yeah,
but
the reference.
I don't know if it has to do with that because a goat's foot is not like a pig's. Like it's like a cow's, I would say, and you can eat goat and
Mm.
cows, right?
But yeah,
I mean,
you can-
according to the Old
Well,
Testament.
yeah.
it's
well,
scripture.
like I'm seeing this and it says right because it parts the hoof,
Mhm.
right? And the way I see it is like it eats like itself, like this animal eats itself.
It's itself, okay.
And but does not chew the cud, like it doesn't eat like clean. You said like
grass,
vegetarian, like
grass.
like grass, because that's what cud is. No, it eats. This animal eats itself.
Okay.
Shit, man, what does that mean? now I looked at this verse. Now
What I think only, bro, like what I thought about it is because there is a verse in the New Testament
Mhm.
that I think it's Peter. He's showing him a vision of like different kinds of lizards and different kinds of food, and Peter and God tells him go ahead and eat, and Peter's like, no, I can't eat. What's it called? I don't remember what the word was.
Peter.
Yeah, and he was like, I know I can't eat this, and then God says, I think what it was, I don't know what's the word, like if it's common, or if it's like imundo. What is imundo in English? Imundo, like
Worldwide.
mundane or no, what is it?
Mundo.
Imundo,
Mundane.
like something like that.
Plain.
Yeah, like I can't eat this
Okay.
because it's como no está santificado, and then God says, no llames imundo a lo que Dios ha santificado. Like, don't call it that when God has already cleaned it. And he was talking about different kinds of animals. This is a reference in the New Testament. Is a reference to like Gentiles and the Jews and all that.
Okay.
But it is referencing the food here too.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So what my thought was like in the beginning and in the Old Testament, it wasn't really talking about like something maybe deeper or spiritual about what the animal was or what it represented.
Mhm.
I think it had more to do because back then they didn't have the knowledge that we have now, like scientifically.
Mhm.
And it was like God was trying to warn them. These actual animals are actually going to harm you if you eat them. They're going to have bacteria and stuff. I think that
Okay.
was it was a more towards that, like warning them in that
Mhm.
way than it's evil if you do this, like it has an
Oh,
evil
okay.
spirit or whatever. I think for me it's leading more towards that.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. Like that's my interpretation.
Like,
Yeah.
like this is the Peter one. He became hungry and wanted something to eat, and while the meal was being prepared, he fell into a trance. He saw heaven open and something like a large sheet being let down to earth by its four corners. It contained all of four-footed animals as well as reptiles and birds. Then a voice told him, "Get up, Peter, kill and eat." "Surely not, Lord," Peter replied. "I have never eaten anything impure or unclean." Man, what is this? What are they talking about here? Why would God like it says? "Surely not, Lord." Like, why would the Lord tempt him?
Okay, so keep going. You can't read it out of context.
Okay. Let's see. So what did I say? The voice spoke to him a second time. "Do not call anything impure that God has made clean."
So I've heard of different preachings on this,
Mhm.
and what they refer to is like God is talking about people who have God has Jesus died for everyone, right? So Jews and Gentiles, and the thing that Peter, his calling was towards the Jews.
Mhm.
Like he thought that only the Jews were supposed to be, or the Jewish people.
Kosher, no, is what it's called.
What do you mean?
The word
For Jewish?
no for not eating.
The
pork.
Oh.
Yeah, for not eating pork is called kosher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, and this particular vision that he's showing him is like telling him, I think he's telling it to like accept Gentiles also, and Peter is saying like, because they're not your people,
Yeah.
and then Jesus is telling him like, don't call unclean what I've already made
clean.
Yeah, made clean. Yeah, so I think there's a reference towards that.
I
Because
think-
the Jewish people were set apart because of all they were the people of God, right? And God gave them special laws and special commandments, and anybody who wasn't under the Jewish laws and all that, they weren't practicing what they practiced. So to them, they were like impure, unclean people
Mm-hmm.
because they weren't practicing the law the way that the Jews were supposed to. So they would never accept them. And this right here is like referencing to them, like you have to accept. I died for them also, not just for your people that follow these exact laws and rules, and you know what
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to.
I get you.
Then a voice told him, he said, "Get up, Peter, kill and eat." Surely not, Lord, right? Like panicking.
Yeah.
I've never eaten anything impure, unclean. Then the voice, like, do not call anything. Was that like como testing him? Okay. Like, would you like what used to be like the old laws? Like this is like the new way now. Porque in Deuteronomy or somewhere Leviticus where we just read, was swine is a four-footed animal, man, right?
Yeah.
So look, he had this vision right before people were coming to visit him. They were not necessarily from his culture,
Mm-hmm.
and had he not had this vision, he wouldn't have accepted him into his house. Like if you keep reading,
Okay.
there's people sent to him, I think from like they're Romans or something.
Oh.
But look at verse 22. Like the men replied, "We have come from Cornelius, a centurion. He is a righteous, God-fearing man who is respected by all the Jewish people. A holy angel told him to ask you to come to his house so that he could hear what you have to say." Then Peter invited the men into his house to be his guests.
How do I go down in that one? Is it this? Oh. Okay, yeah. So entonces it's like people like don't just take the message to just the Jewish people, like you said.
Yeah.
It include everybody else.
Mhm.
Don't let anybody feel left out.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty profound, man. Yeah, I'm looking at it and I'm like, pues, I remember why did we come here to the fourth thing? How did we end up here? How did this begin?
What were we talking about? I don't even know.
What are we talking about?
Oh, the genetically edited stuff, and then that. Oh, have you seen in the news that human beings had like pink piggies and stuff?
Because we were saying that DNA, right? The DNA is like matching, and Jesus would cast demons into the
And
big.
yeah,
That's how we tangented off to that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see. Hang on. Let's see. We did that already. So there was I don't know what to do first. The chapter verses that I sent, and then we talk about the job of discipleship, or do we talk about discipleship first and then the chapter?
No, it's up to you, bro. Whatever you feel like.
Okay. So I sent you all a text yesterday, and I said there's this verse that I remember,
Mhm.
right? And I'm looking at it one way, right? And normally something that you see, somebody else comes along, like Donald, right? I always have like an idea of how things are, and then no, you gotta look at it like this, and I'm just like, damn, you know, I'm like, damn, I didn't ever see it like that, and so that's awesome, like growing like in Christianity and stuff. So, the verses were from the book of Matthew. What were the numbers specifically?
Chapter 10.
Let me pull them up. Hang on. Matthew chapter 10. The entire chapter. That I said, let's look at the chapter.
The entire chapter, but I think you were looking at a particular verse, and I think it's towards the end, right?
See, towards the end. Okay, so let me pull up the verse that stuck out for me, and then we'll just get some ideas. So where is it? It's in the middle, right here. Okay. Okay, right here. So Matthew 10:21. Brother will betray brother to death, and a father his child. Children will rebel against their parents and have them put to death. You will be hated by everyone because of me, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. When you are persecuted in one place, flee to another. Truly I tell you, you will not finish going through towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes. I think I'm too ahead of it. It wasn't there. It was
A little bit higher, yeah. A little bit higher. Back.
Atrás.
Yeah. Because you want to talk about when he said about him bringing peace, right?
Sí.
Do not go higher. No. Let me see.
It's do not be afraid.
Oh yeah, no, it's a little bit more.
Más abajo.
Yeah.
Aquí. Okay, I found it. Okay, so let's go back. So Matthew 10:34.
Okay.
This is Jesus speaking, right? And he says, "Do not suppose that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to turn a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies will be members of his own household. Anyone who loves their father or mother more than me is not worthy of me." This is Jesus like telling them, like, you do this, you're not worthy of me.
Yeah.
Anyone who loves their son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Like, I'm jealous. Like, whoever does not take up their own cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds their life will lose it, and whoever loses their life for my sake will find it. Okay. So particularly the verses of coming to not bring peace. Okay. What I see here, at first glance, I'll throw my ideas at first glance, the way I saw this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everybody has an idea of who Christ is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody has their versions. Like, oh, for me, Christ is this, and then for that person, Christ is that.
Mm-hmm.
But now, when you find out, like, you know what, like your version of Christ isn't like really that true. Like now, because of what I know, you know, and now you're disagreeing with me. Like I have an idea of what this is how Jesus is, and you have yours, and now we're clashing, and so you know what, like we can't be together anymore, you know, because of this.
Mm-hmm.
So, something like that is what I'm trying to get. Like the ideas, I don't know how to word this, man. Like your perception of Bible verses, of hearing messages, preaching, whatever it is.
You've made your own character, your own
Yeah,
person,
like-
and I've thought about this before, bro. Like, there's a possibility where everybody in their minds could be serving a different God, even if we call them the same thing, because your idea might be just something that you made up in your imagination. So we have to be very careful, bro. Like,
Yeah.
don't just believe something because you think it, or the Bible says, like, don't be smart in your own opinion, but actually take the word of God for it, for what He says, you know. And then I think that's a really good point that you're making there, because it's really important. A lot of people, they make up their own idea of what God is, and that's who they believe in, and that's why necessarily sometimes we don't agree on things, because I believe in something that the Bible says, or maybe I believe something that I'm making up in my own mind, and you believe something that the Bible says, and it's like we're crashing there. You know?
Sí. Y luego dice aquí, like, anyone who loves their father or mother more than me is not worthy of me.
Mm-hmm.
So here it's like how can I say, man? Like, you don't want to offend the person necessarily. You love people y todo. But now, because like of these ideas over here, where like we have a difference of opinion of who God is and stuff. Now you're like
because you were talking about don't love, like, if you love their mother or their father,
or father,
than
like,
God,
like
then they're not worthy of me.
Yeah,
you're gonna make something.
See, I was like, so everybody has their versions of God, and so now you're like
you're saying that.
See, like you love your father and mother, and so like I'm gonna abandon what I believe Christ is, and go with you. And now, because I've done that,
you're forsaken.
Now that you're not worthy of me, like you just gave me up so willingly, like this was my relationship with you, and you just threw that away to get with like the relationship I have with somebody else, and we can't have that. We don't have that chemistry, man. I don't know if I'm coming up like clear here.
No, I understand exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
Y luego dice, and anyone who loves their son or daughter more than me, probably the same thing, ¿verdad? How is my son or daughter more successful than me? Like I have my relationship of who I thought you were, and now that I'm just gonna throw that away, and I want what they have. We keep going. Whoever does not take up their cross and follow me is not worthy of me. I know he tells that to a rich guy, ¿verdad? That he's like, como go and give all your inheritance away. Y luego le dice like, if you want to follow me, if you want to be perfect, right? The whole thing was about, I want to be perfect like you. They said, go and throw all your inheritance away and then come follow me and you'll be right.
Well, this guy came to Jesus and told him, what do I have to do to earn heaven? And the first thing God said was the basic stuff like, no, but you just have to love God and follow these laws. And then the guy said, I already do all those things. So it makes me wonder why was he asking if there was more, if he knew he was following all that. So Jesus then was like, okay, so you're following all that and you want to do more. Give all your inheritance or like his wealth away to the poor. Like give it all away. And the guy went away sad because he knew it was an impossible task for him. And that's when Jesus said, it's harder for a rich person to enter heaven than it is for a camel to enter through the eye of a needle or something like that. And then the disciples told him, so who then should enter? Because they saw how that guy was devoted to God. It was just that one thing. And then Jesus answered something so powerful that's very important for us to learn, that Jesus said, what is impossible for man is possible for God. So not just because he couldn't take that extra task, because remember, Jesus already told him what he had to do when he was doing all that, and then he wanted more. And that's sometimes the mistake that we make. Like, we want more work because that's the way we think life works, right? Yeah. I want to get rewarded for the work that I do, but that's not how.
It's like an input of energy. Like I put this amount of energy, and I should expect it to flourish and come back. Whoever does not take up their cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Does not take up their cross.
What do you think that means there, bro? Because remember here, no one knows how Jesus Christ is gonna die. I mean, they know that he is, but not to the death of the cross. So he's telling them, pick up your cross.
Looking like maybe he knew he was gonna go through that. Like ya sabía, like.
I mean, people already knew that people who get crucified have to carry their own cross and their path up to getting crucified. So I imagine that they used this term often, right? Back then. But let's remember that we can't take this as, because a lot of people take this and say, take up your cross, and meaning you have to be like Jesus Christ, because he took up the cross to die for our sins. We can't do that job. We can't do Jesus Christ's job. He already did that. And remember that he said this before he even did that. So how were these people that he was talking to at that point, how were they supposed to take it? And I think it means something different than what people usually interpret.
Do you ever think I've seen it in movies that are like there's descendants of like people from then, like yes, he has to carry the cross for everybody else, but now like in the movies, I don't know, I don't remember seeing reading, I just remember watching it on film. There's a part where Jesus falls and then like somebody goes and helps him willingly, like no era forced, right? No, there was somebody who in the beginning like baile ayuda, and then there was somebody who like you had to tell him like, hey, fucking move, help this guy. What do you think that is, man? Like, that certain people could come from that particular, como diré, like not genes, but the descendant of that person. You have like the giver, or like somebody who's willing to step in, and then now you have the other person who's like, I need to be told what to do,
Well, let's look at what this chapter said in the beginning. Jesus sent out all his disciples and he gave them a task. And he said to go into all the cities and cast out demons and heal people and preach the gospel of God.
Let me go a little bit up,
So it's a picture of Jesus already did the work, but we still have to go and deliver the message. We have to. It's like a marathon, right? Jesus' work is the most...
Or like a triathlon. Like Jesus does like most of the race,
the most important thing.
We gotta finish it.
Yes, so he already did the most important thing. We just had to hand off the baton, right? So like, and this is very important because the whole thing about the peace, and I think his referencing is back then. We might not see it now, bro, because we live in the western part of the world, where the United States of America, where we're free to believe whatever we want, and we're not going to be persecuted for it, right? But remember all these things that he's mentioning there about being persecuted and all that stuff. Remember that all these disciples, all of them, bro, except for one, is recorded in history that they either died being crucified, just like Jesus did, and some of them even upside down.
Yeah.
So they were being warned, because one of the things that in this very chapter Jesus is saying, let the student cannot be better than his master. It's good enough that the student is as the master. And I think he's referring to, I'm the master and I'm going to be crucified. So don't expect anything less if you're going out and preaching the same thing that I'm saying. Expect the same thing that's happened to me to happen to you. Yeah. So, and in reality, 11 of these guys got killed or crucified the same way Jesus did. Mm-hmm. So that's the price, to pay. So when Jesus was saying, don't think that I have come to bring peace, it's there's a lot of different interpretations that I can take from this, but one of those is that, and not you can't take it and say, well, does he come to make war? Because he doesn't say that. Mm-hmm. He doesn't say, don't think that I come to bring peace, I've come to bring war. He doesn't say that. He says, don't think that I come to bring peace, I've come to bring the sword. And when Jesus mentions the sword, or in the Bible the sword is mentioned, it's always the word of God. So what God is saying, I am come to bring peace, I've come to bring the word of God, and that itself is going to cause conflict, especially in that time. That the main conflict with them was people who were already following the church and the law, that they thought that they were perfect, and Jesus was defying all that.
Yeah,
he was kind of. You get what I'm trying to say?
There's some verses like they're upset at him, like they said, you're not supposed to work on the Sabbath, and he's like,
he healed someone.
Yeah, he's like, come on, your laws don't apply to me. Oh, being savage. Imagine like if you were to stand up against the Catholic Church like that today. And
one of the things that I don't wanted to get misinterpreted is that Jesus Christ is peace. He's the Prince of Peace. One of his names is Prince of Peace. And when he was born, the angels were singing peace on earth, goodwill to man, and all those things. And Jesus himself says, the peace that God brings is peace that goes beyond all understanding. And if you are a Christian, you will have peace in your heart. It's very important that you have peace, especially when these things come, because peace in your heart, and peace, most importantly, peace between man and God. Like we're no longer God is no longer against you. There's peace between man and God, not necessarily between each other. What he's saying is, this gospel that I have commanded you guys to speak of is going to cause conflict. Yeah. You will have peace between God and with me, and you will have peace in your heart. But the conflict that this causes is going to be for my glory. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, this is the kind of non-peace that will be because of for his name's sake.
Yeah.
You got what I'm saying? But he is peace. I mean, it's not for us to misinterpret and say that God is not peace, because he is.
Yeah.
And then you come down here, whoever loses their life for my sake will find it. Anyone who welcomes you welcomes me, and anyone who welcomes me welcomes the one who sent me. Whoever welcomes a prophet as a prophet will receive a prophet's reward. Aquí cuando dice anyone who
welcomes me?
Anyone who welcomes you welcomes me.
Oh.
Like
he's talking, they're going into cities to preach his word.
Yeah. And
he's saying anyone who accepts you and welcomes you in is welcoming me.
So like if you're doing the tasks like of this discipleship, this is what's the next thing. If you're doing what you're being called to do, like him, like let's preach the word of God, right? You're doing his work too. Yeah. Like you're connected even closer, and so you have to watch out for the warning or everything else before the.
It's kind of himself being there, because
you would be crucified essentially.
And it says also, like, in the places where you're not welcomed, just like sacúdate los pies, algo así.
Yeah.
And it said that the punishment to Sodom and Gomorrah is going to be even more tolerable than these places that don't accept them.
¿Dónde está eso?
Let me see.
Está para arriba, no, lo de Sodom and Gomorrah.
Hold on.
How do you spell Sodom? Okay.
Okay, they're there. If anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, leave that home or town and shake the dust off your feet. Truly I tell you, it will be more bearable for Sodom and Gomorrah on the day of judgment than for that town.
You think God works through us, man?
I think so, bro.
Like I don't wanna scare anybody. like I'm saying like this, like you're like an instrument,
Yeah.
and like in order for me to reach this other person who's like, because we're all connected, we're like on a, like I see, bro, like we're connected like with like a phone call, you know, and there's like on the other end, like trying to connect us all, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna work through this person, and hopefully you pick up on the subliminal that it's not actually, because like I've even said myself, man, I'm not capable of some of these realizations on my own. Like it's somebody who like comes in and is
Yes.
like, well, you know, here it is.
Helps
you
you
know.
understand.
Yeah, it's like more like I'm trying to like, you know, maybe the message you needed to hear was like go and buy the shirt. A ridiculous example, right? You wanted a shirt, and now it's like go buy the shirt. Like it's like messages all around you. You think God uses even people without us even knowing?
Probably.
Like I don't know
I
if,
think
if
so.
you ever heard like more like the world speaks. Like let's say you're going through like you love some girl, like it's like being cliche from the movies, and then like some song comes on like be together or whatever song it is, and you're like, oh, God's talking to me. You think what do you think, man? Would you like como say it's coincidental, like esto es like there's like nada que ver? With ridiculous dumb examples, of course, like I just
Yeah.
mentioned. And now we're talking into like the more profound, where like, and you don't even know what's happening.
And I guess that's how God works, like, because we don't know His plan. None of us know what He has in store for each and every one of us. You're free to think if coincidences are just coincidence, or if it's with like the push of God helping you towards a certain direction. But to be honest, we really don't know because we're not Him. I mean, it's just what we believe and we want to believe.
I'm like getting scared, man. Like, shit. Like, it's just like I'm on the other line that I'm with somebody else,
Okay.
and it's not really you. Like, it's like just God. Like,
Mm.
I'm talking directly through you. Like, smile. Like, come on. This is me working through somebody else. Like, I'm there. You know?
Okay. Yeah.
And you
No.
don't.
I do believe that God works through us because He says that He will give us His Spirit and His Spirit will guide us, even in prayer and everything. He says you won't even know what you need prayer for, so that's why you need to pray in tongues and all that, right? So I do believe God guides us to do certain things that like an intuition and stuff, and even learning from the Bible itself. I've learned this myself. You can read the Bible with your own human intelligence and make up your own interpretation and be like, oh, this is just a piece of history. But God says, in the Bible itself says, you need to ask the interpretation from the Holy Spirit of God for Him to interpret it to you.
Yeah.
Because it's just words, right? But if the Spirit of God is the one that is interpreting these words for you, then you will learn something else. And it says, the Bible says, like, there's occult, not occults like in the form like the dark occult, but there's things that are hidden from the normal person.
Like the naked eye.
If there's a naked eye, because these are like higher things that only God can reveal. So as it went down, I felt like through reading the Bible and stuff, I felt like revelation from the Spirit of God that I would never come up with if I was just like you said, like this is not me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think God also moves you in things you might think would be irrelevant, like in your work or whatever. And I do think, like in my own personal experience, because it could be different for everybody, because like a relationship with God is like a relationship with a person. Like I might be different with you than I'm with you, right? Because you're different people, and I might behave different with Danny than I behave with Joanne when we're alone or whatever. So I believe the same thing for God. Like God knows me and I know God, and God knows how I would understand when He's speaking to me, and maybe not necessarily to you. Like you might understand something different.
Yeah.
But because of my own personal experience, like I've seen certain things happen, and I believe that it's God. So because of past experiences and me believing that it's God, like whenever things are going through in the moment, I'm able to capture like wait,
Yeah.
God is telling me something right
Yeah.
now, and it's crazy. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but
Yeah.
I myself have been in a situation where someone says something or does something, and I'm like, something's going. This is God. This is God speaking
it's
to me,
all-
right? And you might not feel something
Yeah.
like powerful, like something magical happening. You
Yeah.
just know it.
Yeah.
Like I just know that God is giving me some kind of sign or signal.
Yeah.
And I can testify to that. That's happened
Do you think
to me before.
that verse que dice, wherever two or more are gathered in my name, like ahí está, bro, like,
Yeah.
like he's talking and working through like the people who are like,
Yeah. Because
weird, man.
because the Spirit of God also is His Word.
Mhm.
So sometimes even without like the actual Spirit of God in us, like if we're saved, we have the Spirit of God inside of us, right? But
Yeah.
even people who are not saved, just reciting the same words to someone else, those are the very words of God. You're trespassing like the Spirit of God to
Yeah.
that person.
Mhm.
So that person might be moved. Necessarily, you might not even be saved. You
Yeah.
might not even have God inside of you, but that person might be saved because you spoke those words to him. You see what I'm saying? Like the Spirit of God is moving, even if we don't know it.
Ya me estoy yendo en una. Porque sí, bro, and to be awoke like at that level, a veces que like you see it and recognize it and you're like como, don't lose your cool, You're like como diré, like it's okay, like
Okay.
they're listening in on the conversation,
Hey,
man. Like
hey, bro.
we're like on another mind.
Because also think about this, bro. Like even ourselves. I know you, right?
Mhm.
And I know the way that you are in certain phrases that you use or whatever. When
Yeah.
you're not around, I might be talking to Juan and I'll say one of your phrases.
Yeah,
And I'll be like, oh, Danny would have said this. So in that sense,
Yeah.
you're present there, bro.
Same.
Like your spirit is there. In that sense, like
yeah,
in our minds, we've
Yeah.
made you up because
Yeah.
of something that we learned from you.
yeah.
So in this same sense, if you know God so much, you read His Word, you spend time with Him, you start sharing with other people as if He was there,
Yeah,
even though physically He's not, but His
Mhm.
Spirit is there.
going in like another spiritual world. Es otra onda, bro. And then it's like when it first happened to me, like I remember, pues I was I've said it before. I was a big a big, how can I say, like a heretic.
Mhm.
That's the correct word to use, to making fun of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And make fun of the thing so much hasta que I opened the book. My parents me decían, seek wisdom, just seek wisdom. Pues, I know Proverbs was a wisdom book. I'm like, well, let's start there. And George Carlin, he's a comedian. Y también que just keep Proverbs. And I'm fine, let's read Proverbs. Pues, from 11 to like 4 in the morning, man. And it was like somebody came and todas las verdades, like all my faults. And I was moved, bro. I was like, hey, like, how is it like little words on a piece of paper can affect
Mhm.
like a big outcome? I felt like a bee stinging my body, man. Yori just couldn't break down, and I told my parents that like this happened, and it's like, since I wasn't brought up like in a particularly religious house, like maybe there's like some things you don't know, like, oh, this so happened and this is how you navigate it. It was like off to like my own to navigate the thing, and it was so overwhelming, man. Like, you go and take like a message I see and tell people like, you know what, like we're all connected, and it's people panic.
Yeah.
Like they'll hear the message and they don't like necessarily want to acknowledge que that's going on, that we're all connected, and you're just like, ooh, my mind is firing so much, bro.
And what you're saying right now, bro, just what you said right now, that you read it, right? The word from 11 to 4 a.m. and that had such a profound impact in your life, bro. Like you felt like a stinging.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily you didn't like it, right? Like
Yeah.
the way you felt.
So,
When he's talking here about, I don't think that I came to bring peace, but the sword, that is a sword that he's talking about right
Mhm.
there. So when I come and I speak with the sword to you, like, or whoever, the word of God, it might make them feel uncomfortable, bro. And
Yeah.
that's when conflict's gonna begin. Because mother against daughter and stuff like that, I don't know if you've ever noticed, I know I noticed it, when families get together, bro, if they're not on the same page, like in the same spirit, the same religion and stuff, there'll be conflict, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, if I start talking about my belief, and then you over here that was a different kind of
Yeah.
religion. We're gonna get our voices are gonna get loud. There's gonna be conflict.
Yeah.
So this is what the sword is. But not necessarily God wants us to just sit back and not say anything. He wants the sword to be there. He wants the sword to be spoken. His word, even if it causes certain kind of conflict, because it's saying just because you don't want this kind of conflict with your daughter or with whoever, you know, it needs to be spoken.
Yeah, something needs to be said, which is like the job of discipleship and you're a little bit scared, like what toes am I gonna step on with like the what I believe or what I have to say, and all of these beliefs, man, they're not like more bullshit, like some like I got it from like Hollywood or something. This is like these beliefs like were built on and I'm not capable of doing this myself, you know. It's like all your reasons for being and your person,
your life experience.
Sí, todo and man, es otra onda, bro. The music, right after I read Proverbs, that was where, and I'm just checking out lyrics, man. Something so simple, I'll put it up, bro. I remember the comment, it got to me. It was this song, it was Coldplay, and I'll find the video, and I even commented on it. Okay, the comment, I don't know why there's so many comments here. The comment was, it's right there in front of my face, and I never saw it. And then I said, I replied to that comment and I said, even his name is close to what you're talking about. Chris Martin Christ is there. There's a part aquí, I'm gonna read through the lyrics. Coldplay, talk, lyrics. Oh brother, I can't get through, and I'm just gonna go down. Dice, aquí, are you lost or incomplete? Do you feel like a puzzle you can't find your missing piece? Tell me, how do you feel? Well, I feel like they're talking in a language I don't speak, and they're talking it to me. I was just like, okay, like these guys, old brother, I can't get through. I've been trying hard to reach you because I don't know what to do. It's like Jesus is like on the sidelines, like, yeah, like you're going through all of this bad stuff, and we needed to have reacted to this song, bro. You're going through all this bad stuff, and I'm there, and just call out to me like, I'm right here for you. I've been trying hard to reach you because I don't know what we would have needed to have reacted to this one. Y lo dice aquí, so you don't know where you're going, and you want to talk, and you feel like you're going where you've been before. You tell anyone who listen, but you feel ignored. Nothing's really making any sense at all. Let's talk. Like, come on, just let me in, you know.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no way, because this song could, right, a non-Christian band, these guys don't associate at all. This guy, the lead singer, he practices fasting on Sundays. He has his beliefs of what he's got to do. So he has his own discipline and supposed to be respected. It's working something for him. The Bible does say it's good to fast, right? That apparently fasting can give you prayer, or not prayer, but power in whatever it is that you have to face. And there's even pastors que dicen like eso de moving mountains and making the fire, making the sky fireball y todo. Apparently we have that power to do so, to like como completely take over, you know, but we can't get there because we're not worthy of wielding such power así. Shit, man, I like fucking tangent off on a
whole different thing, bro.
But it's because I've thought about that,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Like it's coming passing ese pensamiento, and I remember hearing the pastor. Y dije yo like, hey, this guy's making good sense. Like, David killing Goliath with a little rock, you know. You have that. He can do like, that's like small stuff.
Yeah.
There's like shit that happens, like fire falling from the sky, an entire army of like little people, like not little people, but like small, like how I say, like not numerically high, let's say, advanced. Like it looks like it can't be beat, the problem that's coming, and they do it.
Yeah.
They do, and like almost somehow like pasó el tiempo, and now it's like we suck and we can't like
Fix little problems
like-
anymore.
perform miracles. Así is what I'm trying to say. To be able to pull off something like that, like what do we gotta tap into? Can
Yeah.
you wield that responsibly and
I think that we can, bro. It's just that we're not doing something right.
yeah.
By the way, bro, like right now when you're mentioning like the power of God being with certain people and being able to do things like supernatural.
Mhm.
What do you think about the Jewish people are the people of God, bro? Like that's He chose those people since the beginning of time.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Abraham, he was chosen to be,
Yeah.
a man of God, and then he will have his descendants be for God, and that eventually became the Jewish people.
Mhm.
What do you think about the geniuses that come out of the Jewish people, like Jesus? Solomon, the son of David, he was the smartest man
Yeah.
in his time, right?
Mhm.
To walk the earth on his
Yeah.
time. We know that's historically recorded. Jesus Christ himself is the smartest teacher.
Mhm.
Who spoke in parables, and everybody admired him. And he's the Lord Jesus Christ. And then we have this guy Einstein, Albert Einstein, being like a recent genius.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you could consider these guys geniuses, but Facebook, the guy who created
Zuckerberg.
Facebook, Zuckerberg,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and the guys who created Google. There's two guys that
Mhm.
created it, and then they eventually sold it off. Not only that they're geniuses and smart, but it's known as like facts that America it holds like the world's largest economy, right? But the Jews or Jewish people, they are like, I think if I have my numbers straight, they make like 0.4% of the entire world population.
Okay.
But they hold like 70% of the earth's wealth, Jewish people.
Mhm.
Because Facebook and Google
Mhm, yeah.
and the WhatsApp and all these, there's different kind of companies that,
Mhm.
that they own, that like they're so advanced.
Yeah.
They are geniuses, bro. Like the guy who made up Facebook and the guy who came up with Google
Mhm.
Chrome and the algorithm and all that stuff. They're really smart people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they hold all this wealth and they come from the Jewish people.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a coincidence? Like they're the smallest, one of the smallest population-wise,
Mhm.
but yet they hold so much power over the world, even though they do it through America. And then
Yeah.
there's another stat that says, or another, actually, something that they say is that America is so blessed because we have these the Jewish people got spread out to the world because of what happened with the Holocaust and
Yeah.
the stuff that's been happening to them, and the majority of them are concentrated on America, in U.S. So
Yeah.
that's why they say that we're so blessed, because there's a verse in the Bible that says, "Bless Israel, and you will be blessed, and those who curse Israel should be cursed." And that's one of the beliefs is like America's so blessed
Because
we
of the-
help out one of the greatest Israel allies and stuff like that. What do you
Yeah.
guys think about that?
Pues sí, bro, está interesante. Less than 1% and hold 70% of the wealth.
I could find the correlation in that, bro. I think there is some correlation regarding that because
They
I
went
mean,
through a lot of shit, man.
because they could have gone anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not really anywhere, right? But to choose like maybe because right there, maybe it was just like a whole butterfly effect.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the beginning when we settled in the West and we colonized, we were getting traction, and maybe everyone was saying the United States is the land of the free, it's the land of the free, this and that, and maybe because of that
Mm-hmm.
in that area, when this was happening to the Jews, they heard about that or got that sort of idea, and then they decided to immigrate over here
Mm-hmm.
due to that.
These were people who were united in faith, man. Like they were like como real together. And what I see here is like if you look at the Jews, like in the time of Pharaoh y todo, they've been like through a lot of horrible shit, Hitler and everything. They always had like their our versions, Catholic versions of priests, like como leaders,
Mm-hmm.
who maybe they were so into the scriptures que decían like I don't know if it is verses I will restore the years the locusts have took, I will, right, like this is gonna happen, and like just go through it, and it's gonna be better. Like what if like se pusieron de acuerdo, they're like, you know what, like I need to be strong for a people's, right, let's all get together, we have like the same idea, and then they say like we gotta go through this, and because even like this is like, what the fuck are you doing with Hitler? Like, I'm pretty sure there were some like Barabbas causing trouble, like going against the causing mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe these people were like, we gotta keep the peace, we gotta stay. Whatever happens, and it's gonna be great at the end. Like this is what we've seen, and then this is why. This could be a reason why.
The thing is, bro, that don't think that the Jewish people are perfect, bro.
Mm-hmm.
This is the great example of how God's love towards us, towards people, and towards the Israelite people, like Jewish people, and us, because they kept turning away from God, bro, turning their backs against God, and God told them, "Don't follow other gods, don't do this, don't do that," and eventually, like, they would repent and they would come to God, but eventually they would forget about God, stray away, and follow other gods, bro. And other gods that the Bible mentions that are like just demonic beings, all these demons that they worshipped, bro.
Yeah.
And God forgave them, bro, time and again. And even Jesus Christ, the Jewish people right now, we can't say that they're in a good standing with God, because they're the people that Jesus came to. He said, "I came to my people accepted me not." So Jesus, like the Jewish people, they didn't accept Jesus Christ. They didn't accept his message. They didn't accept that he was the Messiah.
Yeah.
So through that, the Gentile people were saved, right? Because the Bible says, like, they didn't accept Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He's going to go into the rest of the world. But it was all a plan of God, right? But what I'm trying to say is, like, all these things that I mentioned about these people holding like the wealth of the world, that's in their sin. That's like them being in bad terms with God. Imagine being in good terms, bro. And that's what the Bible says. Like, don't think that they're being like that you guys are being saved because of them, like that it's a good thing, like that they are part, like giving their backs to God. If not, imagine that you guys were saved by them doing that. How much more God's grace could abound, like, on you guys and on the earth and on them, if they turned towards God. Yeah. Because in the Bible, it's mentioned that the gospel of God is going to go to the whole world, the Gentiles, and then at the end, the Israelite people will come back and they will turn to God, and that's when all these apocalypse things and all those things are going to start to happen. But they will come back to God, to believe in God.
Well, you look at the coronavirus, right? Like, people open the Bibles, man. We said before here, like, it motivated the fear of we're scared. Even though you don't acknowledge it, like, simply opening the book is there's a problem. You're looking for answers, and like it's interesante ver, it's to see that go down, and you're like, como, could this be like como ya getting ready, like I said earlier, ushering in the ending? This is the last of the last, like como this is like a final chance, and because pues the time is running out.
For the last chapter.
Yeah, pues even like como like maybe coming to this world, being here, is like como, okay, so now you only have we don't know how much time you really do, pero what are you gonna do with it? Like, are you gonna go to hell, or are you gonna go to heaven? Those are the choices. This was I can say like I'm freaked out by a lot of what was discussed here, bro, because no sé, like I think this particular podcast might be somewhere up there with scary. The ideas that were presented here today. All of this was I guess we can make that a positive. There was one other thing that I did want to say. I should have brought it up when we're talking about gas prices, though. People are starting to wake up and realizing that the promise of the left, what they offer is no good, and people are going to the party where it's about the family. It's like, let's keep the family together. The other party is okay with the dad leaving the household, and that's not right. Like, both parents need to be involved. The Republicans are coming up in numbers. That's what I want to say.
Oh, yeah.
Republicans are coming up with there's como se dice, runoff elections.
Yeah.
But it's too close to call, pero what they're seeing is there's a red wave coming.
Yeah.
Y yo nomás, ¿verdad? You just see the messages and you see. I've told you before. The revelations. Dice the trumpets. There's gonna be trumpets, right? Qué coincidencia, bro. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, if you didn't want anything else more clear, like white paper, you know. Trump, Pence, right? It's like, come on, man, like. It's right there in your face, and like you gotta move, you know, you gotta
get ahead of it.
Puede ser que pasen, 30 years and nothing happens. Maybe it was just a simple wake up in the spirit and and then once you live your life, once you pass on, pues then you go into heaven y todo.
Yeah.
No sé, bro. Yeah. It's been good. I think we're gonna leave it there, and so stay tuned for other episodes and reaction videos. We're gonna come back and look at that song that Coldplay, bro. I'm gonna look for that comment.
For sure.
If y'all wanna buy hats, I'll put the links on there. These are the hats, and we'll see you all. Peace.
Later.
Alright, bros, I don't know about you all, but the people who listen to our podcast and our reaction videos are pretty cool people. But how much cooler would they be if they got some merch that looks like this? Caps. If you're interested in getting a cap, Donald, let them know what they gotta do.
Okay, we're gonna put the link of the online location where you can go shop for them, and they should go for around $35, I would say. And these are the first ones that we have, but probably gonna have different varieties coming up. But I think we can put it on the video, right? Like the link.
See, link, yeah, we'll put it on the link, yeah.
For the store, for the online store where they're at,
Yeah, and we appreciate y'all listening to us and leaving comments and likes and letting us know your feedbacks. This ain't a requirement. If you want to show us your support, this is not where you can do so. But we really appreciate y'all staying here and watching our stuff and leaving comments and likes. But if you want to go the extra mile, this is not a requirement. But we appreciate y'all, and this is just something first to come. We're working on some other things behind the scenes, and we'll let them know throughout the end of the months to come.
All right, peace.